Hello. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Well, all right. We are live. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So I'm over here nursing my neck, child. All right. So we're live. So I'm going to wait a little bit just to see if we'll get a good flow of people in, and then we'll get started. Just to give you a little background, hi, my name is Chelsea. This is the Let's Talk About It podcast, and welcome. Um, this is this is episode 4. And basically, what we do here is just we kind of see what's out there. I'm using Reddit posts about friendships this week. And what we're just going to do is go through a bunch of the stories that people posted. And I just want to say to get started, a lot of what we'll be going through obviously is human interaction, and a lot of the advice that's given comes from a place of wanting people to always be the best that they can possibly be. As humans, we're all working through some stuff, so please keep the judgments to a minimum. What we do here is give advice. We don't judge people. We don't laugh at people for their circumstances. Yes, some of the stuff that we may encounter, because it is Reddit, or it is an open forum, some of the stuff that we encounter may be funny. It may have some funny parts in them. But we always come from a place of wanting people to get advice, because at the end of the day, people go to open forums for advice and to try to work out what's happening in their real lives. And so that's what we're going to be getting into. I'm so happy to be back for another week. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. So, to kind of start things off, let's do a 10-second check-in. And what that means is just like check in how you're doing, how your day was, any highlights from your day, anything you want to kind of talk about. You can drop that in the chat. Anything that we kind of discuss throughout this live, you can always add your opinions in the chat. But again, keep it respectful, keep the language positive, and we won't have any problems. I won't have to kick anybody out. And that's that. So again, my name is Chelsea. I'm the host for this podcast, and I am just going to start with myself. Today, I started back in with my work. I am currently an academic coach at a college, and so we started the summer semester today. And so today was my first day back at work, and it was really, really great. It was great to see my coworkers who were already there, because I am part-time, but my coworkers who are full-time were continuously at our job. And so it was good to come in and see everyone and just chill out for a little bit, and kind of get back into the flow of things. The spring semester was a lot of effort. So I'm hoping that the summer will be a little bit more eased. But I am super excited about, doing what I do with my students and just having our interactions, because my students are awesome. And so I'm doing good. Today has been a good day. As with life, there are good days and bad days, but thankfully today was a good day. And so I hope that today was a good day for you too, in that whatever came out of today, whether it's negative. I hope one thing happened that you can reflect on and that will turn that negative feeling into a positive, and you end your day on a positive, because that's what we're always trying to do, always trying to end our day with a positive instead of going to bed feeling low. So that is my 10-second check-in, and I hope that you guys had a great day. Honestly, I really do. I really hope that today was the start of something that you can be proud of. Also, today is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Alrighty. So, let's talk. Let's get into the first one of our articles today. So the first one is going to be about letting go of a friend. And as I said, these are all open forum posts. And so you can easily go on there on the platform on Reddit and read these posts. You just have to do a search. However, I have created a community for us, a Let's Talk About It community. So if you search that in Reddit, you'll easily be able to find the posts that I'm talking about each and every week, so that you don't have to go and search for the individual posts, just in case you want to give your advice, because they do ask for it and you're able to give comments. And for the ones that I am speaking on today, I actually went in, I believe, yesterday or the day before, and I gave commentary. Oh, actually, it was yesterday. I gave my commentary, I gave my feedback, and I actually got a response today on one of them. The third one that we're going to talk about, I actually got a comment, a response on that, and we'll go over that when we get there. But let's start off with the first one. So let me just get that situated, and we will get started. Alrighty. Okay, so I hope that you can see this clearly. All right, so this is the post. And as you can see, as I mentioned, this is I'm showing this from the Let's Talk community on Reddit. So if you ever want to join the community, and I do encourage you to do so, because that's the way that you'll be able to easily access the posts that we talk about every week, and give your feedback. You can do so with the subreddit information that you can see on the screen. But let's get into this first one. So it says, letting go of a friend advice. So I've been best friends with my coworker for 2 years up until now. We hit it off at first and would always go out and have so much fun together, playing pool, picking up girls, drinking, etc. Problem is, I'm his superior at work, even though we're about the same age. We moved in last year when things were still going well, but I've been promoted and take a lot more responsibility now and don't have time to mess around like before. All he does is drink and play video games and eat junk food, and is in a toxic relationship with a mentally unstable person. He's super insecure and needs to have someone around him 24/7 and be drunk to distract him from his thoughts. Now that we're living together, I notice how polar opposite we are. I love to be alone and I don't drink. I used to, but quit or do drugs. And I don't have anything in common with him. I'm into self improvement and health and diving into life, whereas he's always escaping reality. It's fine when we were living separate. Sorry. It was fine when we were living separate, but I would drop by occasionally and we would hang out. But now I have to deal with his dirtiness, untidiness, and bad odor whenever I come downstairs and he's passed out on the couch with garbage and beer cans everywhere. I've lost respect and don't want to be associated with him at all. He's like a child mentality. I feel sorry for him, so I don't say anything, but what I've resorted to is completely avoiding him. And I know he senses it because he's always running to his girlfriend's place when I go upstairs and he's left alone. He talks bad about me to everyone that'll listen, and I've caught him taking candid videos of me in the house when he's drunk, probably to send to our mutual friends and spread gossip or rumors. He's always trying to influence me to drink and do drugs when I explained to him already, but it's like he doesn't remember anything I tell him. We have 5 months left on the lease. Should I sorry, we have 5 months left on the lease. Should I, what? Sorry, like, my eyes, I have really bad eyesight, sorry. Should I stick it out and just stay polite, quiet until it's time to move? He's not overbearing at all. Just seeing his face every morning, grumbling and complaining about the day ahead pisses me off. It's like he's stuck in a hellish time loop, just abusing himself on every level every day. I understand it's my fault because I chose to move in, but he was good at hiding all this before. He would always smile and laugh when we meet up. Seeing his true self was disappointing because he's just puts up a facade to please others at anyone's expense, and he's not a true friend. And they just say, "Sorry for such a long story. I'm just not used to the situation, so any advice would help so I don't get caught in this situation ever again." And my advice on this. So, my advice on this was that he should wait it out to make sure that, you're not putting yourself in a legal financial bind of the lease, right? 5 months, you've already been dealing with him for however long. 5 months, you don't have to deal with him anymore. That was part of my response. Another part of my response was making sure that when you have these connections with people, you understand more than just the superficial. You understand kind of like a little bit deeper. And if you find that someone is avoiding you getting to know them very, very well, like they stay to that surface level, don't take such a big risk of moving in with that person. Even if it's like this is two guys, they have a friendship, that doesn't mean that you have to move in with someone. Like I I am very, very close with some of my coworkers and, we talk all the time. That's actually how I met my best friend. Like we've known each other for 7 years, but we worked only for a summer and we've never lived with each other. We don't have these issues because we keep things separate. Like not everything has to be combined. Sometimes your work life can be your work life. It can be fun for what it is. You can have a great time with your coworkers. You guys can maybe hang out every now and then outside of work, going to bars. Like he said, like they would hang out all the time, they would go pick up girls. But if that's all that you do, don't take that for, oh, this is somebody that I can actually coexist with, because those are two different circumstances. You're having fun with someone, you're being social with someone, that's a social relationship, right? If you're thinking about cohabitating with someone, then there's a different thought process that should come into play when that happens. Because, like he said, he realized after they moved in how polar opposites they were versus how they were when they were going out. Of course, you're going to be more of a social butterfly when you're outside, because you're outside. You're trying to have fun. You're trying to like live a little, be a little spontaneous, whatever the case may be. As he said, they would pick up girls. It seems like during that time they were living a bachelor lifestyle. Um, but that does not mean that you have to coexist with someone because that is the situation that you guys are in. And just to go back to what he said, like, we moved in, so they've been living together for a year. He now is in a toxic relationship with someone who's not fulfilling to him. That's going to affect him in a very, very real way. He's not taking proper care of himself. He's being neglectful to his own needs. Like, there's nothing that can grow from that relationship because you guys are so different. Like, you like being alone. Why would you then turn to somebody to live with them? If you know for yourself that you love, not like, you love to be alone, and you change your own habits. You don't drink anymore. You don't do drugs, but that's something that this person does and has done before. You know for yourself where your life is going. You got a promotion. Like, these are things that you, like, people tend to overlook the facts. And I myself am a I've done this plenty times before, where you overlook the things that kind of, you overlook the red flags. And I really didn't want to say red flags, but you really do overlook the red flags. Like, and that's not something that you can do when it's a situation where you have your goals and you have things that you're kind of working towards, and you're in a space with someone who doesn't have those same things, and you're just like, well, what do I do now? Or you're feeling stuck. And then also, and I'm reading a book about this too, you can start actually mirroring the behaviors of this person. So if he wasn't someone who was so driven, guess what? They would have been in the house doing the same thing together. Like, it at some point you have to decide for yourself who you truly want to be around you. And it seems like this person is doing stuff to make you feel bad about the fact that you are picking up on his own bad behaviors. And so I would say, and I said, the best outcome for him would be to wait out the lease, let those 5 months go if he's able to, and just move on from there and go on with the life that he is working towards. And if this person at the end of that, if they still figure out that they want to redo or reattempt the friendship and try to um, work things out, I that's something that they would have to do or figure out for themselves. However, he does seem like he's going through something right now that you're not a therapist. You're not his therapist. And you guys are still new into the friendship. So there isn't much that you can do, especially since he is someone who is clearly dealing with some mental struggles or some trauma that he's trying to drown himself in. He has some addictions, like the drinking, the video games, bad eating habits, and him being in a toxic relationship on top of that is even more of a stressful situation. So, in order for this person who asks for the advice, in order for them to kind of feel better about them where their life is going. As he said, he's always trying to influence you and doing things that you yourself don't want to do. Separation is key. Separation is what you need to do to be able to not just address the situation between you two so that they understand what's going on. Because I feel like sometimes when people are in the same space, they don't take what you say seriously. And I said this last week and I'll say it again. Divorce court shows you a lot about stuff like this, where somebody may say, "Oh, he's fine. He's not gonna." They're not gonna take it serious. They're not gonna be affected by this. Like it's okay. They brush off whatever situation is happening. But if it really is serious for you and it's something that is bothering you, is something that's on your mind every day, something that you pay attention to, and it's in your face because you can see him every day, you got to cut that tie. And that's basically what I advised. And I wish this person well because that's a tricky situation because they're clearly close. They're people who care about each other, obviously, because they decided to move in with each other. But I also don't know what the circumstances of that move were, whether it was financial, was better for them to move in together financially, or they just liked being around each other so much because he said they would come to each other's places and hang out. So they probably just were like, this kind of works. We like each other, hanging out socially. We get along in the same space in a time period. So why not try out moving together? I don't know what the conversation was because I'm only getting this much of the situation. Um, so it's clear that they actually like each other as friends. However, you do see a lot about someone when you move in, and sometimes that's not favorable. People are messy, people are dirty. Um, People do drugs. Like somebody you may not think does drugs may do drugs, and people do drink excessively when they're on their own. It happens. I'm not saying that's everyone, but it does happen. So, that was my advice, kinda wait out the situation if he wanted to really get the ball going with rolling with his lease and stuff. Um, but at the end of the day, you can't save this person from themselves. They have to want to do that for themselves. So you have to take the initiative to say, "All right, I throw my hands up and you have to figure that shit out on your own." And that's all you can do. So let me know what you guys think about this in the chat because um I have had to let go of friendships in the past and they haven't gone well. Some of them have been fine with it. Some of them have fought back. um Not physically fought, but you know what I mean. Like they've kind of gotten agitated about it, as anyone would, because it's a friendship that's um, being terminated. But if there's a reason behind it, it has to be discussed. It has to be discussed honestly. Um, and boundaries have to be set so that, as he said, going forward, he doesn't get into this situation again. All right. So you guys let me know, what do you think of this situation? How do you think he should approach it and give your advice on it? All right. So let's go to the next one. All right, so let me just change the heading. Okay, so this one is interesting. Uh, it or isn't it? Like, is it something that could possibly come about, like something that could happen between them? But you're already having sex with each other. You're already taking those steps. Like, I really was not understanding what he wanted, what advice he wanted out of this post. It truly confused me because it's like you're actively engaging in an emotional connection with this person. You're actively engaging in being a being a being the main support for this person. Like, you're actively telling this person, whatever you need, you come to me. Don't worry about those guys that you're seeing. Don't worry about anybody else. Come to me. So when they come to you, guess what? She's gonna take whatever she wants from you and then go back. Like, when you think about modern day dating and how people on social media see dating, this is exactly what they see. This is exactly how it looks. Using each other for small things and going to other people. I'm pretty sure she's not seeing you in the same light that you're seeing her. I'm pretty sure she's just seeing you as someone that's on her roster. And she's what, 24? What do you think is happening? The fact that she feels guilty about it and is telling her boyfriends that nothing has happened, nothing will ever happen, but knowing that you guys have had sex in the past and together decided to cut it off because she feels guilty, that's your answer right there. Should I be bothered by this? Absolutely not. Move on with your life. What do you mean, should you be bothered? Move on with your life, bro. Like, at the end of the day, what more can you do? Honestly, what more can you do with the fact that this person is, one, outside of what you guys established with each other, they're dating other people. She's clearly looking for something in other people that she's not finding in you. So stop overextending yourself to this person who's not appreciating the efforts that you're making to make her be comfortable. Because you're not who she wants. You're not who she needs. She's getting something out of you for the moment and then going on with her life merrily. So why not do the same? Do you? And people get so like caught up on, oh, we're very close and this and that. But if that person is clearly to your face using you, what more can you truly do? How can you actually turn that around and come out with you getting what you want out of the situation? It's not gonna be the way that you need it to. And even if you guys get into a relationship, who knows if it's gonna even work out the way that you want it to? Because clearly there are things between you that you don't discuss. And that's an even issue issue. So no, you shouldn't be bothered by it because she's living her life. You go live your life and stop overextending yourself to someone who's clearly only there to use you for the resources that you have. And that's that. That's basically what I said in my response, is that how else can you find resolution with a situation where someone is seeking things from outside sources? They're not coming to you for you. They're coming to you for what you have and what you can provide. That's not a good situation to be in for any reason. Any person, male or female. Like, that's really how people get so traumatized by the dating world. And it sucks that it's a friend that is doing something like this. Someone that you consider a friend to be doing something like this. But at the end of the day, how much longer are you going to allow a friend to use what you have for their benefit, not even for mutual benefit? Because it's no longer mutual. You are not getting anything out of it. She's acting like a girlfriend to you, but she has boyfriends. She's not acting like a girlfriend to you. You're picking things that she's doing to make you feel good about what you are doing for her, but it's not real. That's not real. It's not. And that's the quickest way for you to get hurt in that situation. So my advice were set clear boundaries, stick to them. And if the friendship grows from that, if she comes around for whatever reason, she comes around and sees that this is something worthwhile that she wants to do, it's up to you whether or not you want to take it to the next step. And that's what I'll say about that. You guys let me know what you think about that, because at the end of the day, this is an open forum. They asked for advice, and that was my advice. They did have quite a few other comments that were posted. So again, if you guys are interested in what was posted, or just seeing or giving your own comment to the post, definitely go to the subreddit and go ahead and do so. Or you can just put it in the chat for our viewers to see and have, conversation about. But as far as I'm concerned, the lines are too blurred for them to have anything substantial or even beneficial out of that relationship. It's too much, give me this, give me that. Like, it's very one-sided. And it's one-sided on her part because she's getting a lot out of this situation. And also, she's getting money. Stop giving people money. Stop giving people money. Okay. That's a whole other that's a whole other situation. But yeah. Let's go to the next one. And this is the one that I actually got feedback on from the person who posted it. And so I was really happy with my comment to the post, because it's a very sensitive situation. So let's just get into it right here. And it starts with the title, How to Ask a Friend to Shower. Child, I have been there. So I, 32-year-old female, have been lending my vehicle to my friend, who is a 33-year-old female, during my workday so she can make some money. She was doing DoorDash to stay afloat until her car broke down. So I lent her my car to do that, which I think is amazing. As a friend, I would do the same. Like, if I'm working, I go to work and I get there at 9 o'clock in the morning and I don't leave till 4, my car is just, it's better than paying for parking. Might as well. And, you're helping a friend out, get some extra cash. So she continues, I noticed that the last few times I've lent her my car, it's come back with an overwhelming odor. I realized it was coming from her. And I'm not sure how to ask that she showers without being rude. Note, the odor lingers so much so that even days later, my car still smells. And I can't deep clean my car every few days to get rid of the smell. That's some serious ish, okay? First of all, for someone to have that strong of an odor, that in itself is troubling because me and my psychology mindset, I go to mental disorders. I go to why is it that someone is not taking the steps to take care of themselves hygienically. Um, and I know for myself how anxiety works. Anxiety can block you in a lot of ways, and anxiety can show in people not taking care of themselves in that way. And so maybe this friend is in a place where they're so stressed about their situation, as she says, she's doing extra work to make money. And people tend to do stuff like DoorDash, Uber Eats, what's that other one? GoPuff. Like they do those things to get little extra cash because they may be strapped for cash, or they may have something that they're saving up for, or they're just trying to change their financial situation. Student loans are a thing. um there's so many different things that could be the reason behind why someone would want to make extra money. So in my mind, those are adding up to psychological things that could be a blocker for that friend to be having these kinds of hygienic problems. And so I understand from that aspect. And so for her to still want to extend this offering of using my vehicle so you're able to do these things and continue to work towards better for yourself, that should stay regardless of what the situation is, as long as that friend is, paying for gas, like not bringing back your car with on E, like, or making sure that they're not getting tickets or stuff like that. Like easy stuff that you would never think of. As long as they're taking care of that stuff, then the situation should be fine. But this is different because that is for the owner, for the person that posted this, the owner of the car, that is something that's now being a stressor for her, where she wasn't stressed about giving her friend the car before, you know? It was just a supportive thing for her friend, and that was that. Now there's a blocker to that support. Now there's something that may stop you from wanting to be as supportive to your friend because this is something that is bothering me on a level where I have to now deal with it outside of just the basics. She's saying the odor lingers. It's a lingering something. It's not just a passing something, or she just got out of the car and as I sit down, I could smell it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's lingering for days. That's not okay. And it's telling me that that friend needs a lot more help than she is expressing to this friend. That friend needs support in a lot of different ways than you may not be able to give to them. And I told the person in my comment, it is a very sensitive situation because you don't want to address it as in, oh, you stink and you need to, like, coming to somebody in that way, it's never good. And I get that some people are very, very honest in what they say and how they say things, but there's certain situations where that can be seen as being a bit bitchy. And so what I told her is just make sure that when you have a conversation or when you have the conversation about this with your friend, that you speak to them very calmly. You choose your words very wisely, and you emphasize that you want to remain a support to this person. However, there is something that is now becoming an issue in the way that you're able to support them. And in addressing it just how in this very similar way that I'm speaking right now, hey, I love that you came to me and we were able to find a way for you to continue making money in the way that you need to. I have absolutely no issues with you using my vehicle to be able to put some money in your pocket. I do want to address something with you, and I hope that you're okay with this. They will say yes or no. Let's talk about whatever you have to talk about. And then you go from there. Like, it has to be a back and forth conversation that is very respectful of that person, because you wouldn't want someone to come to you and be like, hey, you stink and you leave my car smelly and I need you to stop, or I need you to shower before you get in my car. You see the difference? Like, I wouldn't take that as someone wanting to be supportive if they come to me and be like, well, you stink and you need to shower before you come into my car. Even though that's the gist of the question, approaching verbiage is everything. How you approach something is everything. And to say to someone, you need to shower, that's rude. I don't care what anybody says. That's rude. Saying to someone, hey, I've noticed over a certain period of time that there is a certain odor is that I find, and even me trying to figure this out right now, and I'm not even the friend, is stressing me. It's really like giving me pause, because it is such a sensitive situation. And you guys, let me know what you think about this, because it's so tough. It's so tough. But I basically was telling her, like, make sure that when you do address the situation with this person, that you come to them in a calm and respectful way, because you wouldn't want someone to come to you disrespectfully and in a rash, rigid way where it's like, either you do this or you can't use my car anymore. Because that could set someone off. And as I said, bad hygiene to that degree is not just someone not taking care of themselves. Like, there is a reason behind a lot of things. And in our society today, mental health is huge because a lot of people hide their the things that they're going through. It's the same as the guy in the first post about his friend, how they were cool when they were going out and they were having fun and they were picking up girls, but as soon as they moved in with each other, he saw the real person that was behind that mask, you know? And as people like to attach the friend label to a lot of people that they don't know on that level, you have to understand that people do deal with a lot of shit behind closed doors that they don't feel comfortable with talking to outside folks with. And I'm not just talking about therapists. I'm talking about actual people that they know. They may not know. Like, a lot of my friends don't know a whole lot about the ins and outs of my life and what I go through day in, day out, because you some things you just hold to yourself, whether it's by choice or it's just a part of who you are, your characteristics. You're someone who holds a lot of things in. That's just what you have to deal with when you're dealing with interpersonal relationships. If you want to continue the friendship, and that's something that I put in my response, you want to maintain and continue this friendship with this person, you have to address the situation on a friendship level. And a lot of people are just so harsh in how, like, it's just like tough, 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 tough love. Some people don't react well to tough love. Some people don't react well to harsh love or harsh criticism about something so personal as their smell. That is so personal. And in a world where a lot of people cover up with perfumes and makeup and all these things, addressing something as sensitive as your hygiene, especially when it's an odor that lingers days after use of a shared space, a little bit more sensitivity is warranted in this situation. And when I told her that, she definitely agreed. She said, this is someone who I do want to continue a friendship with, and I appreciate the advice. And that's all you can do. So you guys let me know what you think about this. Have you ever encountered this situation, and how you were able to find resolve and address it? Because as I said, it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. And you don't want to hurt someone who may already be hurting, because that in itself is a situation you may not be ready for the outcome of. Um, and so, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. That one was tough. It was tough for me to give my say about, because as I said, I've been in that situation, and it's it's hard. It's hard to see someone who you care about not think of themselves first, because they have to take into consideration everything that's happening around them. And this is something that happened like years ago, not recently at all. But um, if it's something that is bothering you, where you're coming to an open forum asking for advice, it's something that's on your mind. It needs to be addressed, but it needs to be handled with care. Because at the end of the day, you still want to have that person as your friend. You still want to maintain that friendship with them. You still want to be a support to that friend. And so handling it with care and being very clear with what you say, and calm with what you say and respectful with what you say is paramount. And that's my take on that situation. All right. So let's get into the last one that we have. And this one kind of ticked me off, because I, I I don't like when people take advantage of situations. And I feel like this person definitely took advantage of a situation that really was out of their control. So let's just go to that post. And this is a pretty long one, so I'm gonna kind of try to give a synopsis of it, um, but I'll still work through the actual post that was given. So it starts with the title of "Need Advice on How to Deal with a Friend Who Gave Me the Silent Treatment." Hi, everyone. So I'll give the gist of the situation that led to the last week in question. So basically, this person has a friend group in school. They are classmates, they're in the same course, so they figured let's move in together so that we can make things easier for each other. We know each other. Um, we go to school together. Um, let's move into a roommate situation so that one, we can kind of consolidate our finances so that we're not overly paying for whatever we need to do. And it seems like this is a way situation, so it's easier to dorm together than it is to do individual dorming. If you know about going away for school, and I see it within my college all the time, those dorming itself is expensive, thousands of dollars, apart from tuition, apart from any programs that you may be in separate from your core requirements for school. Dorming on top of that is an extra expense. And so consolidating your finances with people that you know well, that you go to class with, that you're pretty familiar with, um, that that tends to be the better way for you to kind of work out that situation, right? And so there are five friends. Um, yes, there are five friends. They decided to, I'm sorry, they decided to dorm in this house. It's a little ways away from their school, but this person that posted the that made this post, they said that they were ultimately outvoted because they raised the concern of the distance, and everyone else decided the distance wasn't a problem. They were still going to move forward with the house. And the person that made this post said, okay, we'll just do that. I think before or while they were working out this, one of the other people had circumstances out of their control, and they had to, you know, kind of drop out of the move or cancel the move. They weren't able to do the move ultimately. And so the person that made this post, they were like, well, I already don't like the distance of the house. And so if this person is saying that they can't do the move because of their own circumstances, I'm going to take this opportunity to also cancel my move because I already have issue with the distance, which I find is not something that is too big of a deal. Like, I feel like if or maybe that's an issue, like, because this person is not doing it, now you don't want to do it, and I get that. But when I first read this, I didn't see any issue with her deciding to not move after another person said, this is not going to work out for me because of my own circumstances. And she also made the decision, not just because of the distance, because she said that there was general unhappiness around the house. So it seems like from the get-go, there were some issues with them clicking based on the way that they kind of live with each other. And so going back to the actual post, she said, me and this other friend who moved out then arranged for the other three to get a new house without losing any of their money. So they didn't just move out. They said, you know what, since we are kind of changing up the situation that we all agreed on, because we're canceling our move-in or just moving out after we have moved in, let's arrange for you guys to get a different place so that you're not spending money and, you know, it's not a situation where you're losing out any of your money. Oh, it's raining. Oh, wow, it's thundering. Okay, so going back to the post, it says now to the last 3 weeks. So this is where we're going to pick things up. When I said I was moving out, one of the 3 remaining people, L, who is also a current housemate of mine, said on a group chat on WhatsApp that I should have raised concerns about the house's distance earlier. I replied saying, "You're right," even though I had raised concerns. I probably should have spoken up more, so I do admit that. And I apologized again. So she apologized for changing her mind about the move in the house. She's apologizing again after the friend said that she should have raised concerns. Mind you, she said that this is something that she did and they outvoted her on her concern. So keep that in mind. I then met her 2 days later. I didn't happen to run into her prior to that and had a normal conversation about football that day. I then left thinking it was water under the bridge. 2 days later, I sent her an inside joke on Instagram and she reacted to it. So it seems like everything is peachy keen. She apologized. You know, they're meeting up, having regular conversation, interactions, normal, cool. However, on Wednesday and Thursday last week, meaning actual last week, she suddenly turned extremely passive aggressive and gave me the silent treatment. I found out through a mutual friend that she was angry about the house situation still. I then messaged her apologizing again and asking if she wanted to talk, to which she replied with yes, and that if I wanted to apologize, I shouldn't have avoided her, which was not true, as every time I said hi in the house, she was the one who left the room saying nothing. So, so the first thing that came to mind when I saw this, and I also put this, oh, sorry, I didn't share share it. Um, but the first thing that came to mind when I saw this is, girl, why are you apologizing more than one time to this person? Why are you continuously apologizing to this person? You said it once when you moved out. You made amends for the move out by arranging for them to move into somewhere else. You apologized again when she came to you and said in a group chat and said that you should have addressed the concern, knowing that you had already addressed the concern and was outvoted by everyone else in the house, and they made the decision to move into the house and basically told you take it or leave it. You apologized twice, and then she's asking for you to apologize again. For what? So I told her, you need to stop apologizing because this person is now holding this thing against you for whatever reason to make themselves feel better about the situation. Because it's not something that's uncommon. And as she said, someone else also dropped out of the move. So is she having this silent treatment to that person too? Or is it just you? And is it just you because you're being accommodating to how she feels? So then it's someone taking advantage of that situation. And when someone does that, it's not for your benefit, it's for their benefit. So I put in my response, this is someone who's actively using a situation against you for to make you feel bad about a choice you made for your own benefit, for your own good. You don't like the distance. You brought up the fact that you don't like the distance. And They didn't care about that. You arranged for them to have a place to stay, knowing that you would not be in the same housing situation with them. You did on your part everything that needed to be done. What else are you supposed to do? Stop apologizing for it. If you say, you know what, guys, my bad for committing to this, but I'm really struggling with the distance of this household, and I'm really not happy with the situation that we're basically in right now, and I want to, like, once you get over, like, get through that conversation, you don't need to be apologizing anymore. Cause she, like you said, you guys had casual interaction, normal interaction on Instagram, normal conversation face to face. So why is it again a situation of this person being passive aggressive towards you? That's something that they're actively choosing to do. And then for her to come back and say, well, you should have apologized. You have it in writing, and um you have witness to it because another friend came and said that they're still hung up on it. So you have witness to it, and you have in writing that you've apologized for it. And sometimes people use that to make themselves feel better about a situation that they themselves are not comfortable with and they can't speak up on for themselves. And they have to figure that out for themselves. But if they don't do that, you can't do that for them. And you accommodating that person does not make things right for them, because she'll always come back with something else that's bothering her about what you did. And if you keep apologizing for it, how are you gonna resolve it? How are you gonna get from point A to point B where you move on? She's holding it against you for whatever strange reason, and that's not cool. You're not misunderstanding the situation. You're understanding it clearly. You're just being overly accommodating to one person's need with the whole situation, when there are four other people that were involved. Why is it that this person is selecting you to be so, like, confrontational with? And if that's something that you want to understand, have a conversation with it. I would not have a conversation without someone else being there, but have a conversation about it, because it's clear that you hold this person to a friendship level that they don't hold you to. They don't see you as a friend, because if they see you as a friend, they will be understanding about the situation. They will not be holding it against you. My opinion. And that may not be everyone's opinion. So you guys let me know what you think about that. But in my opinion, that's not somebody that's really trying to be a true friend to you. They're trying to be dominating over you. And that's how a lot of people get into situations where they give up a lot of their own self-control and self-worth based on someone else's say so. Because now you're coming to an open forum asking for advice about how you acted in the situation. You did not do anything wrong. You did all the steps that you needed to take. You took all the steps that you needed to take. There was a conflict with distance. You brought up your concern about the distance. They outvoted you and decided they were going to do it. A situation happened with someone else, and you decided that, you know, I'm gonna run with the fact that this person is canceling their move, and me myself not being happy with it. I'm gonna then stand my ground. You stood your ground in that moment. Stand your ground with the person that's having a passive aggressive reaction to you. Stand your ground, because at the end of the day, what else can you do? You can't make them happy about their own situation. You can't make other people happy with, like, like a circumstance like this, like she has to figure out why she's unhappy about it. And it's clear that she's actively trying to be this way because when you guys met, she didn't have any conflict. But behind the scenes, she's telling somebody else because the friend came and told you that she's still stuck on it. Behind the scenes, she's telling somebody else that she has a problem with it. So why is it that she's not telling you this? And then expecting you to apologize continuously over it. Why? And if the why is what you need to understand, again, have the conversation with her, have the conversation with someone else who can mediate the conversation. Because it doesn't seem like you guys have the tools to have honest conversations about what you are kind of like what's going on between you. So that was the gist of my response to her. Like, first of all, stop apologizing to people who like asking for you to continuously apologizing is wild. Asking for another apology after you got an apology twice and the effort to rearrange the housing situation. No, ma'am. I was not going to apologize no more. You probably won't even hear from me no more. But that's just me. That is just me. I don't make, if I see that my efforts continuously are being shunned, what am I going to try again for? Cuz that just leaves for a one-sided relationship. Someone is getting something out of the relationship and they're not giving. And you are overextending yourself again. You see a pattern of the other three of people overextending themselves and not getting something out of it and not understanding why is because you're overextending yourself without consequence, without saying, hey, like, I'm here to support you. However, the however needs to be there. And that's coming from me, from my own personal experiences with people, is that they will never stop you from overextending yourself. So many people that I like 2017, man, was 2017, 2018 was a very telling year for me because I had some people in my life who were very cool people. Like, I'm not saying that these people were nasty or anything to me. In the end, it became that. But throughout the friendship, there were things that I overlooked because we did have a good time together. They were cool people, I did go over to their place and hang out, and they came over to mine and hang out sometimes. And in between those things, there were things that were happening where I wasn't happy with the situation and I wasn't speaking up for myself. But once I started speaking up for myself, I found that people weren't really okay with that because they got used to me being the shy one, being the one that kept her mouth closed or didn't say or didn't push back much. And this is also during the time where I met my best friend. And it was through her and the conversations that I had with her that I was able to kind of see, like, huh, 2 + 2 = 4, like certain things weren't adding up that I wasn't seeing before because I was so involved in those friendships and I was so accommodating to those friendships that I was just I was just me. I was just Chelsea, you know, going with the flow. And I promise you, as soon as I spoke up for myself and I started like saying, no, like that's not what this is, or that's not how you should treat somebody, or that's not, I saw everyone turn against me. Everyone. There's very few, maybe two people other than my best friend from that job or from that time period, from that time period that I'm still close to. Yeah, three people. Whereas I was close to too many. Too many. And you know, it was a similar situation to the guy in the first, oh sorry, cracking my knuckles. I forget that these mics pick up a lot of things. But it was a very close situation to the first post that we talked about, where the guy was like, you know, going out socially, you know, things were great, we did this and that, but when you see the mask removed, it's not as pretty as you previously thought. And that time period was the first time that I truly saw people without their mask. And I truly saw how people can truly be jealous of you. Jealous. Not because of anything that you do outwardly to make yourself like the attention seeker, but just of who you are. People can be jealous of you. And in that jealousy, it can present as a lot of different ways. So the passive aggression that she's feeling, that can be a jealous thing. Is not that that person wants to be you, not that that person wants to be like you, but it may be because a lot of people come to you for various reasons. Maybe it's because they seek out your counsel and your advice versus theirs. You know what I'm saying? It could be for jealousy is a very broad thing, and it can encompass so much that you don't really pick up on it in the subtle ways. But passive aggression in this way can be a result of jealousy. And it may be that because you are somebody that is so easily accessible, um that people go to and confide in, that people can talk to freely, and they themselves are not somebody that people do that to, they can find that they can be jealous about that, and they can try to attack you for it. And because they want you to not be that way, they're going to pick you down for it. And that's what happened to me. And because I stood my ground and I cut those people off, I'm better for it. Because now I don't have to deal with the shit that I was going through. I don't have to put on the facade that I was putting on. And I don't have to overextend myself to people who weren't worthy of the effort that I was putting into the relationships. Because at the end of the day, they were so cool with turning on me. All of them were so cool with turning on me in that throughout that situation. And that really highlights to me that they weren't truly people that were there for genuine friendship. And the people that stayed around, that are here today, that I literally talked to today, they are there for a genuine friendship. And so you have to kind of decipher for yourself in those situations what you're willing to continue with, and where your hard boundaries lie. And I think with this situation and that friendship and that post that that person put, the hard boundary is for that person to say, you know what, I did what I did. I did what I could do, and I'm not going to apologize for it anymore. Because what am I apologizing for? Life? That's life. How many people go into roommate situations and life happens and they have to move out. That's life. Things happen. Move on. But the conversation needs to be had about why the move on is necessary. Because I think if that is not addressed, then you'll always have that lingering ache. And that person will always have something that they're holding against you, which also makes them not a true friend, in my opinion. So, you guys let me know what you think about the topics that we spoke about today. And as you can see, there was a clear theme of friendships and trying to address how to approach a friend in one situation or another. And I just hope that for anyone who's watching this, whether you're in the live or you watch it after, whoa, the thunder is real in New York. If you feel like any of these kind of touch home with you, or you've always wanted some sort of advice about a situation like this, please reach out. Please put it in the comments section. Please go to the subreddit and put your response to these situations, because we all want a little bit of advice. And people tend to be like, why are you bringing your issues to the internet? Why are you talking about this? When you have no one else to talk to, how are you going to get it figured out? This is exactly the place to do it. And as long as you're going to spaces that are going to be respectful about what you put out there and respectful of the comments and the advice that they give and the commentary they give, then I think that it would be beneficial for anyone that encounters those spaces, because it's beneficial for me to kind of get my thought processes out in these ways. It's beneficial for you as viewers to see insights from a different aspect. Maybe this is something that you talk to yourself about all the time, and you wonder whether or not you have a jaded opinion about it. I know for myself, I'm jaded. I've been hurt a lot, and I know I've had a lot of hardships in my life. When it comes to relationships, I'm not saying that I've had hardships in general. I'm saying when it comes to relationships, I've had a lot of tough situations. And I've generated a lot of trauma because of those tough situations. And so talking about stuff like this in open forums tend to be a great way for you to get feedback from people who aren't closely associated with you. And you can take what information you get from them and you can leave it, what information that doesn't work, But as long as it's there for you to dissect and get what you need out of it in a positive way for you to move forward, like that lady said, I appreciate the advice. You never know who may need it. So I welcome you guys to join the conversation. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for joining this week. I am so beyond grateful for everyone and anyone who drops in. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you know when the next one is coming. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.